Welcome to the Peaceful Wood Turner. Got this piece of mulberry. I used some other pieces of it for other projects and stuff, and I've been experimenting with faceplate turning lately. So I decided what I was going to do is mount it to my faceplate, round off this side, and give myself enough of a flat space to be able to mount my faceplate on the other side, and then try to make it into a bowl. And it's just a different way of doing the faceplate turning. It's not something I'm used to doing, so I thought it would be a fun experiment. So I'm going to start by actually taking off some of these corners on my table saw, just to make life a little easier on myself. Okay, it's all mounted up, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty balanced. I've never been accused of being very balanced, but apparently this piece of wood is. I'm going to just start rounding it off on this side and setting up my space for my faceplate. Really, my tool rest is way too high. Switched up the angle a little bit, and I'm going to speed up a little. So I decided to put a walnut accent on the bottom of the bowl. That'll give me a little bit more meat to bite into, and this wood comes out kind of dark. The mulberry comes out very light, so it should be a nice contrast. I'm just going to smooth this off, round it off a little bit, and then we'll get it glued on. pretty round. I'm going to sand the end. Just going to get a heavy grip on the palm sander and just sand this end so that it's nice and smooth. So I'm going to sand this as smooth as possible so that it gets a really tight hold on the bowl. That looks really pretty. It's a good start. I'm going to get a good layer of glue on there. Nice and thick and tight. And I'm going to spin this on a little bit. It gets a good coverage that way. Everything's got a nice layer of glue on it. Really should have done this to begin with, but I didn't think I was going to have so little space. I just didn't really have a good idea of my spacing there. So now I'm going to clamp this up and then we'll let it sit. I have my walnut piece added to the bottom of the bowl just to give myself a little bit more that I can screw onto, a little bit more meat down there. And I think it's going to make a nice accent as well. I'm going to start trimming it up now, getting it a little bit smaller and smoother, and we'll go from there. Remounted my piece, I flipped it around. This is one of the first times I've ever really tried anything like this. I have never been very successful at actually getting it to come around smoothly and be straight again and be true again. This is pretty close though, so I'm happy with it. The next thing I'm going to need to do is just kind of smooth this off and then start hollowing out my bowl. Alright, I'm going to go with a linseed oil on here, and I'll do a few coats of that. If I don't like how it's coming up, then I'm going to put on a tongue oil on top. So here's the finished piece. I do like how it turned out. The grain has a lot of nice color and figure to it, and I like the contrast between the base and the rest of the bowl. I'm getting a little bit better with these more open turnings. Still get a lot of tool marks, I still get a lot of catches. I'm working on that, trying to get it a little bit better. But all in all, I'm pleased with how this turned out, and thank you for joining me here on the Peaceful Wood Turner.